My name is Michael Kosha. I'm the sole developer of the game Swords and Magic and Stuff, and welcome back to the Devlog. This is episode 1. So this week I want to talk about my characters and how they're built. It's going to be a bit more technical than the last couple of devlogs since they're more about the journey to this point, but going forward I really want to cover the current build of the game and the new features and content. So first let's just go over the basics of the characters and what they can do. So all my characters derive from a base class, which you can see here is the base character. So here we have a custom event here, or basically a function here that is to take damage. So anytime any sort of character in the game needs to take damage, this is what's run. So my base character handles everything. It basically just covers it's the root of all the character classes. So anything that they can all do needs to be handled in here, primarily just the health. So this is the base for things like my monster base, which really just this is just sort of like the base for other characters as well. My NPCs, which have a lot of other things going on here. And then my player character, which has a whole lot of stuff going on as I zoom out here and you see this giant mess of blueprint spaghetti. This is only my event graph. I also have a movement graph that looks just about as bad. It's a mess. I wish I would have kept more things in functions, but as you can see, I've still got a nice chunk of functions going on as well that aren't even being shown here. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. But anyway, so the cool thing about my base characters is that I can drop any of these different characters in the world, and if I need to make changes to their core functions and how they work, then I can do that pretty easy. So first of all, let's just grab an NPC and drop him in. So this is how I can set up a new NPC in the world. I have a visual system here. So this is dropped in as a moon elf and a ranger tier 1. So basically I set up a data table or a struct full of different types of classes, so I can go in and add new classes whenever I want in the data table, and I can add things like the different outfits they can wear and the different races they can be, or the different faces they can have, or weapons they can use, or offhand items they can use, all kinds of different stuff like that, which is it's pretty cool. It lets me really do a lot of neat sort of variations. And another cool thing is if I wanted this to be an NPC and not necessarily like a guard or an enemy or something, which by the way the NPCs could also be enemies, just depends on the alignment I give them. I can also randomize their appearance here. So if I just click this little tick box, it automatically randomizes their appearance. So, and this is randomizing their race as well. I don't have it set up that I can choose a single race and then randomize from that. That would be a nice thing to do, but this randomizes everything. So once I find something that's sort of like what I want, so here's something maybe what I want, or maybe close to what I want, I can actually drop down the skin section here, and I can change all kinds of things. I can change their skin color if I wanted to. If I wanted to adjust this a little bit or completely change it, I could. The skin detail is more for the race, for the dryads, mostly. I can change the eye style, so I can just cycle through these and find a different set of eyes that I like. So maybe we'll go with, I don't know, that one. And then I can go in and I can change their clothing as well. So we can switch to maybe a different style of robe. Their hairstyle I can swap out, so we can maybe do like a mohawk here. And then I can do, of course, the hair color. So we'll go with a real vibrant pink for now. And then hair or ears. I can also do a head accessory, which I don't have any currently. This would be things like earrings or beards, stuff like that. But none of those are in the game currently. Then also have hats. So I could do maybe a helmet, or how about a captain's hat, pretty cool one. And then obviously if I remove this, then she gets her hair back. So her hair is also being remembered, even though it's being hidden when the hat's on. This is causing some weird issues though. For example, let's say she didn't have a mohawk. Let's say she had a long silky style hair, right? Which obviously sticks out the back here. And now if I put that hat back on, well, that's a bug. That actually should have removed her. Oh, you know what? I know why, because I set that as a head accessory. If I set this up as a hat, it removes her hair, which is intended, but you would still be able to see hair sticking out from the bottom of that. So I need to find a solution that maybe adds like maybe a layer or something that just shows her hair possibly just sticking out from the bottom so you can see a little bit. I don't know. I'm not sure how to fix that yet. So I'm still working on that going forward. Anyway, so this is pretty neat, but I can also do more with this, right? Like I can also go through and set up a pathing system. If I wanted her to follow a path, I can set her health here manually, give her a name, which is very important because all these NPCs back here have different names. This is Graf. This guy over here is Gibbs. This guy's a banker. He doesn't have a name. This is Nancy. Everyone has a different name, and that is really important because it runs their entire dialogue system. So this is Nancy's dialogue, and they have to have those specific names for that dialogue to work. Moving on, there's also, I can set up their shards, which is just like their mana count, arrows, how many arrows they have, their wander radius, how far they can wander from their home location, which is where they're spawned. And then I can switch these things too, so I can switch them to patrol or wander or stationary. These other ones are more, or follow even. But combat is something that will switch to automatically if they find an enemy. It's a pretty bad AI system right now, but eventually I'm going to remake it and it should be a lot cleaner. I can also do other things like maybe give them a weapon. So I can give them an iron sword here, and that won't show up now, but if I hit simulate, I believe that'll show up. Oh, it doesn't show up. It's not showing up because that's unfortunately in the visual system, I think. Where is that? Okay, I'm not sure where it's at. Oh, maybe I spelled that wrong. Oh, here it is. Now if we simulate, she should have a sword. There we go. So I can give her different items based on the item ID. So I have an entire item database system set up that allows me to just punch in the item ID for any weapons or items I've made, and then they'll just get that in game. The cool thing about that is that not only will they get the visuals, but also the sword or whatever it is works the exact same as the players would. So if the players using a spellbook or something that shoots a fireball, the NPCs will also get that fireball, and then they'll be able to cast it against you if they're enemies. I can also switch them from guard, villager, bandit, monster, combatant. The combatant's more for it's a PvP thing that I had planned, but it's not currently in the game. So anyway, so if I switch them to villager, they won't be able to fight me. But if I put them on bandit, they will go fight this guard directly over here. If she sees it, she should go fight that guard. Oh, she didn't see it, it looks like. Okay, let's force her hand a little bit. Zoom. She really doesn't want to fight the guard. Sometimes this happens. There's an odd bug with the... There, he should see her now. There we go. So now they're going to start to fight. Now I can't see their health because the health only shows up for players. So if I had a player over here, well, I'd have to be the player. But anyways, now we have some combat going on. I don't know what her health is at, but she should definitely be dead soon. The guards have about 1,000 health on purpose, so they don't get killed very easily. So anyways, you can see that alignment system works pretty well. It's pretty neat. But yeah, that's my character system in a nutshell. This week I've been working on setting up some some camera work, as well as a lot of other things I've been working on. But if I test play here, you can see I've been working on a new camera system that allows me to zoom in and out the camera, which is nice. The big problem with it right now is that it zooms straight into the back of your head, which is fine, I guess, if you really want to just see your character up close, which shows off all the blurry textures. But I mean, the problem with it is if I swap to a ranged weapon, the crosshairs to fire the weapon is right on your head. So it's really hard to see what you're shooting at unless you switch to first person mode, which is pretty neat. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's pretty good for getting it set up in just a couple hours. So then you can play a lot easier with at least with ranged weapons. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it works pretty well. Zooming back out, it works pretty well too. Anyway, yeah, so this is the character system so far. There's also a dodge roll mechanic and a jumping. Obviously, you can jump, and just for fun, you can also do flips in the air by just hitting shift while you're jumping. If you're going forward, you obviously flip forward, and if you stand still, you can flip backward, or you can run backward to do it. Yeah, that's the character system. So I think next week I'm gonna cover. Probably, I don't know, I'll probably just pick another mechanic next week and we'll go over that one. And I will start showing off the things we've been working on this week. I mean, I touched a little bit on the camera system I'm working on. I've been kind of swamped. We also worked on a little bit of the this zone over here. There's a dungeon under here that I'll show off probably here soon. But inside this gate here, which is called a Rune Gate, there's a whole dungeon I've been working on, and it's getting closer to being done, and then soon we'll be doing a boss, and I'm going to be streaming all of the development of the boss on Twitch. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, head over to Twitch. There's a link in the description below that you can follow to get there. Also check out the Patreon, and a huge thanks to my good friend Michael Perigo over at Faith Drawn Studios. He has been working really like day and night on a new website for me, which I really wasn't expecting to have this month. So that's awesome. So I'm going to put a link to his Twitter and other social media in the description so you can check him out. And also check the new website out. It should be live now, and you can go check it out and see what it's all about. So thanks for watching. I'll be back again next week, and don't forget to like or subscribe or whatever you want to do with the video, and I'll see you later.